Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. We are looking at misunderstood verses of the Quran. With me is Dr. Shabir. Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
The verse we're looking at, Dr. Shabir, is from chapter 5. It's verse 3, and it reads like this. This day have I perfected your religion for you, and have chosen for you as religion, Islam. So tell me, Dr. Shabir, what's so misunderstood about this verse?
Yeah. First of all, I should mention, Safia, that it's a very popular verse. It's often quoted in sermons, it must have memorized it not by a deliberate effort, but just by simply hearing it so often, again and again, right?
And people get emotional when they hear it too, because they feel like, okay, this is probably the last verse that was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad.
Yes, exactly. And this is where the misunderstanding starts. Because, of course, the two things are conjoined. People think of Islam as something that is so unchangeable, and they cite this verse to say that Islam is perfect. So you don't meddle with any aspect of it because you will change it from that state of perfection, because either you're going to make it better, you can improve on perfection, or you're going to make it worse. And why you want to mess with a good thing, right? But you hit on a point there that this is not the last mentioned verse of the Quran by unanimous mention in the traditions. We find various other passages mentioned as the last verse. One can easily consult a handbook on this, like, for example, Introduction to the Sciences of the Quran by Dr. Yasser Qadi. If this were the last verse of the Quran, one might be able to use it and emphasize it in that way. But because it was not the last verse, what it means is that Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum, today I have perfected your religion for you, wa atmamtu alaykum ni'amati, and I have completed my favors upon you. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and is pleased with Islam to be your religion. Or we can say the act of surrender to be your religion. Because at the time, the word Islam did not have the connotation as the name of a religion yet. So one might think, okay, well, here it is. God is giving the rubber stamp on the religion of Islam as it was. The complete no change is going to be made to it. But at that time, even the Quran was not complete, because more and more of the Quran would be revealed. And of course, more and more legislation, more and more of the examples of the Prophet, peace be upon him, through his daily actions, because he continued to live for another couple of months. If this was said to be revealed while the Prophet, peace be upon him, was performing the last Hajj, which is in the 10th year of the Hijrah, then he passed away, according to many opinions, in the month of Rabiul Awwal, a few months later, in the 11th year of the Hijrah. So several months passed after this verse was mentioned while he was performing the Hajj. So how can we understand this then, Safia? We know that laws in particular need to be responsive to dynamic circumstances. Circumstances change, and what was said in one circumstance does not apply so generally in all circumstances. We can say that the principles of Islam are universal, principles of fairness and justice and equality and so on. But how those principles will play out in a particular society, in a particular time and clime, this requires a lot of judgment. And we see that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself applied various judgments in different ways. God himself, in his wisdom, gave different regulations for Muslims when they were in the Meccan phase, and different regulations when they were in the Medinan phase. And sometimes we see that in some of our situations, it's almost like we're back in the Meccan phase. Not that we want it to stay like that, but we know that things have to apply in that state as it was in the inception. Because if you pile in all of the laws at once, let's say a person is just embracing Islam, you don't give them all of the laws at once. Or you go to a new society where they haven't heard about Islam yet. You're not going to start by preaching the laws of Islam. You're going to start by preaching universal concepts. If they accept the universal concepts, that's when they're going to implement the laws. And the laws may be implemented differently in their society than it was some 1400 years ago in Medina. So we have to see this variation as as a possibility and not be trapped by a misunderstanding that arises from the way in which this verse is being used. The misunderstanding being that people think that it's so perfect you can't change it. And by the way, you can change from one state of perfection to another. Right?
That's true.
Both could be perfect, but perfect for its time and place and circumstance.
So what do you think God meant when he said, this day I have perfected your religion for you?
Well, let me make reference to another verse of the Quran that will give more clarity, because sometimes people take things literally and they say, it must be in the text, right? The angel gave the good news to Mary that she will have a child, and the angel says, لِيَهَبَ لَكِ غُلَامًا زَكِيًّا. I will give you a pure boy. I have come here to bestow upon you a pure boy. Now, that was a pure boy, right? We can even say this is a perfect baby, right? When Jesus comes out of the womb, this is a perfect baby, like as all babies are generally, right? No mother says, okay, this is a perfect baby, but keep the baby exactly as the baby is. No, we want to see this baby grow up. We want to hear the baby's first words. We want to see the baby take a first step. All of these are like exciting developments in the life of this child. So in a similar way, Islam in its infancy was perfect. Perfect as it was at the time and so on for its circumstance, but it will continue to grow and develop. So this is something like this is what I understand the verse to mean. There was a development first in the Meccan phase for some 13 years, and another 10 years in Medina, and now things have developed to such a point that God could say, okay, now I've completed my favors upon you. I've perfected your religion for you. So it doesn't mean that it has to stay like that forever. It can continue to develop and grow and be perfect from one state to another.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.